Jacksonville Jaguars fans, welcome in to Duval Daily, presented by GenJag.com. I'm Jordan DeLugo. Thanks so much for tuning in here on Wednesday, April 9th, second show of the day for y'all. So the Jaguars have reported for off-season work. It's voluntary at this point. Important to keep that in mind. We heard today from Liam Coen, Foye, Oluokun, Trevor Lawrence. Obviously your franchise quarterback, your head coach, one of the leaders of the defense. So we're going to talk about the takeaways from this. Again, it's off-season work. There's no physicality, right? There's no hitting. It's voluntary. It's kind of laying the groundwork for what this 2025 Jacksonville Jaguars team is going to be. That's exactly what it is. It's nothing more than that. So, again, Liam Coen spoke, then Foye, then Trevor. We're going to kind of talk about all of it here and talk about the takeaways. Really appreciate y'all tuning in, always supporting the channel. It means the world to me. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. So, starting with Liam Coen, he was asked about Devin Lloyd, who we've been talking about this week a little bit with the fifth-year option situation coming up. Deadline is May 1st. The Jaguars picked up Trayvon Walker's. Liam Coen's talked about that already. He was asked about it again today. He just feels like Trayvon Walker is a player and a person that they want to be. They want to have that relationship. They want to be in on Trayvon Walker, which that's music to my ears. But when it comes to Devin Lloyd, said there was no immediate plan with the fifth-year option. They still have time. They still got like 3 weeks or something like that to make a decision on that. They're trying to get to know him a little bit more, but they do like him. They say that they really like the versatility that he can bring to the field, and he does have a lot of versatility in his skill set. They said, Liam Coen said that they're excited about him. Not much more than that was really offered. So my guess that Devin Lloyd's fifth-year option probably wouldn't just be picked up just because of some peaks and valleys in play and positional value. The positional value of the fifth-year option for an off-ball linebacker just doesn't make a lot of sense. An off-ball linebacker having the same fifth-year option contract value for that year, the same number as an edge rusher. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. So we'll see. That's yet to be determined apparently, but at this point, I would predictively guess that it's probably not going to happen, but we'll see. I'm still excited to see what Devin Lloyd can do here in this defense. So Liam Coen talked about they can't be physical right now. It's against the rules. But they can have tough meetings, and they can try to bring a physicality to the way they do things on the field, even without hitting each other, right? Just the mental part of it, the lining up, the getting out of the huddle, the getting out of, at the snap, right? They're trying to be very tough, direct, open with their guys. And they're trying to offer a lot of mentally challenging simulations and learning throughout this portion of the offseason because, again, there's no real physicality that can be had. So instead of challenging these guys physically, which will happen later on when it's allowed, they're trying to put as much on their plate as they can handle mentally because it is a completely new coaching staff outside of special teams. It is a completely new scheme on both sides of the ball, right, for these players. Now, some of these players have experience, some of the free agents that were brought in, right? But for most of these guys, it's pretty much all new. And again, it is voluntary offseason work right now. Liam Coen said participation is very high. He's very pleased with that and appreciative of it. He knows the guys don't have to be here, but he's very happy with the participation for the voluntary portion of the offseason. The number one word I would say from everyone that talked today was energy. Coen talked about it. Foye talked about it. Trevor Lawrence talked about it. All these guys have energy that have come in here. The coaching staff, they're young, they're energetic. Trevor Lawrence was candid, after Doug was fired, that he really would like to work with someone who was a younger guy who they could identify with more. And that's exactly what Trevor Lawrence got with this staff. Liam Coen and the entire offensive staff, basically, that he's working with are younger guys. I mean, one of the youngest offensive coordinators we've ever seen, one of the youngest head coaches who's an offensive guy. It's a young group. Spencer Whipple as well. Some of the other guys. So not only are they young, but they bring a different level of energy than I think what you've seen around here lately. And not only did Trevor Lawrence feel that way, but Foye Oluokun feels that way about Anthony Campanile, the new defensive coordinator as well. And Camp, if you've watched any interviews of him, if you watched Hard Knocks, he brings the energy. And it's cool that he can kind of have that professional vibe in front of the media, PR, and he's still very professional as a coach, but you kind of see the personality come out a little bit more in the meeting rooms, which again you got to see on Hard Knocks when he was with the Dolphins. That's a really high energy, high effort, strain type of guy, and I think Foye Oluokun is really vibing with that so far, the energy and the communication from the defensive staff. So again, energy was the buzzword today. I think that's good. I think that if there wasn't high energy at the beginning of this new regime, this new coaching staff, all that stuff, that would be a major problem. I think the energy is going to be good. I think it's going to be refreshing for this group. And I think that Foye Oluokun, Trevor Lawrence, these guys are really embracing it. Trevor and Foye both kind of talked about, going through coaching changes, it does kind of suck. But that's something that you mentally are going through as it happens. After the new coaching staff gets hired, you start to know them, you get past that point, and then you get excited about what they're trying to do for you, what they're trying to do to make this team better, this offense, when it comes to Trevor Lawrence and Liam Coen and company, and then the defense, Foye Oluokun, Anthony Campanile, and everyone. So I think that's a big part of it. They have bought in. And I think that as they get to know, the coaches get to know the rest of the players a lot more, I think this is going to be an energized football team for 2025. Sustaining that energy is what can be kind of difficult because you can't forget 2022, it was a very energized football team with the new head coach, Doug Peterson, who was doing a tremendous job with them, right? They lost their energy. They lost that. They lost that momentum, and they couldn't get it back. Injuries had to do with it. A lot of things had to do with it, right? But you've got to keep the energy, and that's going to be the challenge. I don't think creating the energy early on is going to be the challenge. I think sustaining it when there's tough times is what really challenges a lot of organizations. I think you've got smart coaches. You've got really good football players. You've got a lot of draft capital. Sustaining the energy after the chips are down, like when you face adversity, that's kind of where the challenge is, I think, with this football team and with this coaching staff. And I think that they'll be able to rise to the occasion. The coaching staff will. It's going to be about, do they have enough talent throughout the roster? And a lot of that's going to come down to the draft, which is, just over 2 weeks away. Can't wait to see what happens there. But for Coen and Trevor Lawrence specifically, they both kind of talked about his footwork. And Coen wasn't critical of Trevor Lawrence's footwork. Trevor was. Trevor said he's always known that his footwork hasn't been the best, and there were some things he's been trying to clean up and wanting to clean up. And for Coen, he didn't talk about really cleaning things up as much as it was marrying your feet, your footwork with the route concepts, the route timing, the progressions in the route concepts. And I think that's pretty cool to hear about. And Trevor Lawrence was talking about it, the past regime, the route concepts weren't always super strong. The timing wasn't always super strong. Like Trevor Lawrence said, now in this scheme, none of the routes break at the same time. So you're getting your footwork, you're getting your feet, your base in a position to where you're ready to fire it off on your first read, and then quickly, if that's not where what you want, if you're not seeing what you want, you can quickly with your feet transition to the second read. And again, it's that timing. You can get back to a dig route across the field or a check down with the timing of the footwork as much as anything. And so you're going to see, I think, just a much more cohesive offense, an offense that makes more sense, that takes a lot off of Trevor Lawrence's plate, quite frankly. There were times with the past regime where it was all on Trevor. Everything was on Trevor. He had to be perfect. This is going to be a situation where they're going to make it easier for Trevor Lawrence to operate at a higher level. I strongly feel that way. I think you look at what Liam Coen was able to do with Baker, what he was able to do with Will Levis in college as well. You're going to see that translate, I think, pretty quickly. And I think Trevor Lawrence is fired up about it too. You could tell that. And speaking of Trevor, he's out of his brace. He did have the shoulder surgery. He's throwing the football again, which is great. He is, I would say if they were fully practicing right now, he would be limited. But he is throwing. He is holding the baby, which is great. He's helping out around the house. I'm sure Marissa appreciates that. And for anybody who was wondering, he did have a little sty on his eye. If you were watching the press conference, you could kind of tell there was something up there. Not a big deal there at all, but just wanted to provide y'all with that update. But yeah, he's throwing the football on schedule, on track. Everything's good with Trevor Lawrence. I think that this is going to be the best situation of his career by far. And I thought Doug Peterson coming in was going to be the best situation of his career by far, and it was. It just kind of flatlined, right? You saw the offense stagnate quite a bit after the 2022 season, and I don't just mean from a production standpoint. I mean, like, literally pre-snap motion went out the window. You stopped seeing shallow cross, which was a bread and butter play of theirs. It just fell flat. They didn't integrate the pieces correctly. I don't think that they were making it as easy for Trevor Lawrence as they should. Like most of the quarterbacks that operate at the highest level in the NFL today, there is a certain amount of pressure taken off that position simply by the way the offense is designed. And I think they're going to help Trevor out a lot in that regard. So it's exciting times in Jacksonville. Free agency is in the books. You've got 10 new players from free agency, and you've also got the draft coming up, and the Jaguars have 10 draft picks scheduled. They have the 5th overall pick. It's going to be a pivotal draft for the Jaguars, not only in 2025, but also beyond. And shout out to T-Wig. He basically asked, looking at the draft, are you valuing the future more or guys that can come in and help you win right now? And Coen was pretty straight up, like, they're trying to win right now. So they're going to get guys that can come in and help them right now. But, guys that are ready to contribute in year 1, they're usually ready to contribute in year 3, 4, 5, et cetera as well. So I'm not mad one bit about that philosophy. And based on what the Rams have done over the last several years and where James Gladstone comes from and kind of the direction he took them in the last couple of years as an integral part of their draft process, it's no surprise that the Jaguars are going to value players that they think can come in and win right away. So that'll do it. Really appreciate y'all tuning in. If you enjoy the content, please like and subscribe. Y'all have a good one.